Peace be with you. My name is Alan Kiesler. We are having a very special and important discussion right now with Qadar Unisa. She is an advocate in Hyderabad, India, and she asked to do an interview with me about Kashmir. So I decided to bring on the full solution to the Kashmir dispute, which was revealed to me more than 20 years ago, and which I have spoken about several times on my Facebook lives also. And so I'm just waiting for Unisa ji to please come on, make a comment, and then I will be able to invite you to come on live with me. So, as I just explained a few minutes ago, we did a test run. I have, and I will show it to you now, a letter. Let's see, I can turn this around. This is the letter that I wrote on June 18th, 2001. Okay, here she is now. I'm trying to get her on. Hmm. Okay, I think she's about to come now. Okay, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Good day. Good morning.
Good
I'm
morning
Onisa
and
from
good
Hyderabad,
evening to you.
India, and at present I'm watching a letter, a very very precious document.
Shall I read it or do you want to
Alan
start?
has,
Let's
of
give a little
course,
more
Alan,
introduction and then I will read this
of
document.
course, of course. Please read or
Or are you
describe
reading
it.
it right now?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Alan,
I'll go ahead and read it.
Kiesler.
This is a letter.
Ji. Yes.
This is a letter that I wrote on June 18th, 2001. That is, what is that, more than 18 years ago now. And I sent a copy both to General Pervez Musharraf. At that time, he was chief executive of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. Soon after that, he became the president. And the identical copy I sent to His Excellency Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Prime Minister of the Republic of India. And this is what I wrote. I will read not the whole thing, but the first part of it at least. Respected General Musharraf and Mr. Vajpayee, Assalamu alaikum and namaste. Please accept my heartfelt greetings. I am very happy that you, two outstanding leaders of your nations and sincere servants of God, are to meet next month. I have great admiration for both of you, especially for your painstaking struggles to maintain your national interest and dignity by keeping at bay extranational powers who would make you subservient to their interests. I pray with all my strength that the all powerful Lord of all will make your vital interview with each other the beginning of a new era of harmony in South Asia. I am confident that if we sincerely beg the Almighty, He will surely accomplish this, however difficult it may seem. Thee alone do we worship, and to Thee alone do we turn to help. Iyaka na'badu wa iyaka nasta'in. That is translation from the Quran. Kindly allow me to introduce myself. I have a PhD in South Asian Studies from the University of California, Berkeley, and am teaching South Asian religion and interfaith dialogue at the Graduate Theological Union here in Berkeley. For the first 18 years of my life, I was a resident of Pakistan, where my American parents were working. However, I was born in UP, that is Uttar Pradesh then, now it's Uttarakhand, in 1947, just before independence. And until 1965, I spent more time as a student in India than I did in Pakistan. Having thus been raised in both your countries, I developed a deep and equal love for them, as much as, if not more than, for the United States of America. Therefore, I have long been distressed by the failure of my two home countries to abide by the truth that our real self-interest lies in understanding and cooperation, not in suspicion and antagonism. I beseech the all-merciful God of truth that your upcoming meeting will be a breakthrough in favorable Indo-Pak relations based on this principle: truth ever triumphs. Truth ever triumphs, that is Satyam Eva Jayate, that is the national motto of India. As everyone knows, the dispute over Kashmir is a major obstacle to your cooperation. Mr. Bajpai, at the beginning of this year, you wrote, quote, "In our search for a lasting solution to the Kashmir problem, we shall not traverse solely on the beaten track of the past. Rather, we shall be bold and innovative designers of a future architecture of peace and prosperity for the entire South Asian region," end quote. Following this favorable forecast, I wish to share with you and General Musharraf the outline of a solution that I believe is in the best interest of both India and Pakistan, as well as the Kashmiri people. Although it will be difficult to implement, no other better proposal has been made that can satisfy all three parties. I pray that you both, along with your competent advisors, will seriously consider it. I'll read a little more. About 3 years ago, I asked a great Sufi master how Pakistan and India could resolve their differences. Although he requested anonymity, so I will call him only Hazrat Baba, not only many Pakistanis, but also many Indians, including non-Muslims, consider him their well-wisher. He told me that it was the will of God that India and Pakistan should become co-equal partners in a renewed South Asian refuge of true religion. Therefore, he asserted, this would surely come to pass, but only when Kashmir was made Bais-i Nafrat Nahi, balke Bais-i Muhabbat. For those of you that don't know Urdu or Hindi, this means the basis of love, not the basis of hatred. So formerly, Kashmir has been the cause of hatred and antagonism, but this great Sufi saint recommended that it must become the basis of love, which we will see how it happens now. Exactly when this would happen and who would achieve this glorious victory, he said, would depend on the sincerity and determination of the leaders involved. I already knew what he next explained. The first step is to grasp that both countries' very sense of identity demands that Kashmir be a part of them. For Pakistanis, who understand Pakistan as the homeland for Muslims in South Asia, the very existence of Indian Kashmir, with its significant Muslim majority right on their border, feels like a stab in the heart. But Indians also consider Kashmir an important, and indeed now an integral part of their, quote, secular state, end quote, in which persons of all religions live together in harmony. The feelings of both, Hazrat Baba insisted, must be honored. That is the feelings of both Pakistan and India, and of course, Kashmiris too. The flickering flame of Hindu-Muslim fraternity in South Asia, this Sufi seer continued, would be rekindled first in Kashmir. Eventually, he predicted, as India and Pakistan regained the sense of trust that had so often been the basis of honest alliances between Muslim and Hindu kings in pre-British India, a united Kashmir, including all areas of the old princely state, would be made a semi-autonomous part of both Pakistan and India. May I share with you a few details of Hazrat Baba's vision as I understand it. One, the new autonomous and united Kashmir would be both a Suba of Pakistan and a Pradesh of India, as it would be both a state of Pakistan and a state of India. Both countries would have Kashmir for themselves, but we will see they have to share it. Two, the people of this new state of Kashmir would have a form of limited dual citizenship. They would vote in both Pakistani and Indian national elections and would have their own representatives in the parliamentary bodies of both countries. Three, Kashmiris, all the people of the former princely state, including natives not only of Kashmir proper, but also of Jammu, Ladakh, Gilgit, Skardu, Baltistan, etc., would be responsible for and would control the internal affairs of their state, while Pakistan and India would share responsibility for Kashmir's external defense. 4. Kashmir would not have its own representation internationally, but Kashmiri representatives could serve within both Indian and or Pakistani embassies, as well as in delegations to any international organizations, including the United Nations. I just got disconnected there for a minute, so I'm not sure if you heard the whole last number 4, but you could read it. But number 5 is to
I
make
did.
this idea of joint sovereignty attractive to both Pakistan and India. Baba made several. Sorry?
It
Hello?
was audible. Please continue.
You want to say
It's
something?
audible. No, it's audible, very clear. Please continue. Don't bother about the
Okay.
disruptions.
Okay. To make this idea of joint sovereignty attractive to both Pakistan and India, Hazrat Baba made several practical proposals. Some of them appeared radical or even unworkable at first, but all of them made good sense to me after further reflection. A. The new Kashmir should be designated a Muslim state. A major reason for this is that no Pakistani government could enjoy popular support if it accepted any other proposal. General Musharraf, does not your experience over the past years confirm this? Nevertheless, the United Province of Kashmir would be a secular state in the Indian sense, for the government would provide freedom and support to all religions within the state. This is, Hazrat Baba explained, true Islam. Full freedom of religion and full state support of their religious institutions was granted by Hazrat Muhammad, peace be upon him, to Jews and Christians in Medina. Similarly, truly Muslim Kashmir would grant freedom of religion and government support to all religious groups within the state. Nevertheless, since Kashmir, not only the Vale but also the larger region, certainly is a Muslim majority state, and since its new Islamic government would promote true religion, it should be called a Muslim state. Hazrat Baba held that the enlightened Hindu nationalist leadership of India would not object to this suggestion, but would deeply appreciate it. Although initially they might be required to take a contrary public position, he suggested, nevertheless they would eventually perceive an enlightened Islamic state in Kashmir as a blessing, not a threat. For once Kashmir would be made a non-communal Muslim state, this would be a first step towards fulfilling the hope that the central and state governments of the rest of India would become more involved in promoting universal religious, even if you might find it unwise to confirm whether this analysis is correct. Anyway, there are several other practical points. One of the most interesting ones, anyway, you can read this. I guess you can all put a stop on this and read it later. But interestingly, he suggested that Dr. Karan Singh should be made the interim governor of Kashmir. I spoke with Dr. Karam Singh actually in 1999 in Cape Town, South Africa, at the Parliament of the World's Religions, and he liked this idea. Um, anyway, that's all I'm going to read for now, but you can look at this later. There is the fourth page also here, which you can read when you get the chance. You can all look at this later. Okay,
Alan,
so
may I ask you something now?
yes,
Okay, first of all, let me congratulate. This was quite practical and futuristic, but this is not the end of my comment or observation. It concludes with my observation concludes with a query, and that is, which part of Kashmir are you mentioning? Kashmir is at present divided into three hubs, three parts. Aksai Chin, four actually: Gilgit Baltistan, Azad Kashmir, and Indian administered Kashmir or Indian territory
and
of
Jammu,
lately.
and
Sorry?
Jammu also.
Uh,
Jammu is also there.
that is that I said Indian administered Kashmir. Till 5th August, it was in toto Kashmir, Jammu, Ladakh, Leh, Kargil, all. and Kashmir itself, the valley. So, which one do you refer in the letter to Mr. Vajpayee and Mr. Musharraf? Which Kashmir did you? I mean, do you mean? Did you mean, or did you refer?
Uh, this is a very good question, and I not only discussed this at length, but I have thought about this and prayed about this a lot. And initially, I thought that this is not practical to make the entire old princely state of Kashmir part of this, because it's a huge area. And of course, the northern areas of Pakistan, as well as
Mhm.
Jammu and Ladakh, are not part of the Vale of Kashmir or the Kashmir proper. They have other
Mhm.
languages, there are other ethnic groups. Um, so I thought Kashmir should just refer to the smaller part of Kashmir.
Indian,
But there are
which is
several reasons
Indian.
for that. In fact, that's in this letter. Uh, what we
No,
call
please
Azad
repeat
Kashmir
your.
in Pakistan, and what is,
Alan, no, I didn't.
hello?
Yes, I'm very much online. You are very much audible to me. Am I audible to you?
Yes,
Okay. I
I'm listening
repeat
to
my
you.
question. I repeat my query. Which part of Kashmir do you refer in this letter, or did you refer in this letter? To be precise,
Yes.
which
This
one?
letter actually makes it very, very clear not only what Kashmir is being referred to, but why
Mhm.
that Kashmir is being referred to. So this
Why?
refers
Why
to
it is
the
understood?
entire,
Why you have
sorry,
given an explanation? Why it's referred? You have given an
I'm
explanation, but
sorry,
geography.
I'm not hearing you clearly. The internet connection is not.
Okay, which part of Kashmir do you mean in this letter? Which part? Indian administered Kashmir, Pakistan administered Kashmir, uh, China administered Kashmir, or Azad Kashmir? Which part of Kashmir would you have preferred going your way? I mean, your suggested way. Which Kashmir do you mean?
Well, all of it,
All,
the
entire.
entire old princely state of Kashmir,
Okay, okay.
all
Then
of
it's
it.
fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough, because the concept I have and I'm working for is something like subcontinental union. They also seem similar. I envision same thing. What you have just written with a little deviation, maybe. And what a coincidence that I'm sitting here in Hyderabad doing same thing. You in America doing same thing for same place. Isn't it pleasant surprise?
Yes, they say great minds think alike. Of course, this wasn't my idea. This was the suggestion of a great Sufi saint. So you're also a great Sufi
Baba
saint, I
Sam.
guess. You were
Yeah.
thinking just like this Baba was, and that the
Yeah.
entire old princely state, and I can, in fact, he gave a couple of reasons why
Mhm.
he had made this point. And let me see, I think it was on page 4 here. Some may object that this proposal is a promising solution, but it would be better to attempt the simpler task of making Kashmir proper. Oh, let me show you this. So I'm reading right here. Some may object that this proposal is a promising solution, but it would be better to attempt the simpler task of making Kashmir proper alone such an autonomous state and leave the northern areas to Pakistan and Jammu and Ladakh to India. There are, however, several difficulties with this. First of all, by international law, the entire area of the former princely state is still one entity, although I think I was disconnected. I'll go back. Uh, there are several difficulties with this. First of all, by international law, the entire area of the former princely state is still one entity, although it is disputed. And this is, of course, why both your countries claim the entire area. If this legal unit were to be divided, and Pakistan granted the northern areas and India Jammu, China could just justifiably lay its equal claim to Ladakh, and certainly the portion it presently occupies. Further, India could hardly be expected to abandon such a large and vital portion of Kashmir, while Pakistan gives up only the small region it occupies. So that's one reason why, or one or two reasons why it should
Okay.
entire former princely state, not only Kashmir, where the Kashmiri language is spoken, the Vale of surrounding area.
Mhm.
But, and this is very interesting, there is a far profounder reason why Hazrat Baba rejected this apparently easier solution. He dreams I just lost the signal there for a minute. So there is a far profounder reason why Hazrat Baba rejected this apparently easier solution. He dreams of a non-communal religious state in Kashmir, which, like the Holy Prophet's Medina, is truly supportive of all genuine religion. He hopes that once the former princely state of Kashmir, with its great ethnic and religious diversity, becomes an Islamic state in the sense Allama Iqbal meant it, yet a secular state in the sense of not aggrandizing one religion at the expense of others, it will become an ideal example for all of South Asia. And if India and Pakistan, along with Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, etc., were to follow suit, all the world would have before it a living illustration of how real religion overcomes the most intractable divisions and transforms hatred into harmony. Hazrat Baba's main point is that the worldwide challenge of religious communalism can never be met by a non-religious secularism. For religion, even in its narrowest interpretations, is a far more powerful force than even the most enlightened irreligion. Only a broader understanding of religion, of the will of God, can successfully counteract the strident propaganda of religious fanatics throughout the globe. So, in answer to your question, I spent quite a long time answering it. Not only is this to include the entire princely state, but Hazrat Baba
Mhm.
gave several reasons why it should.
Hazrat Baba gave, uh, I don't know which, it was
Can you hear
drafted
me?
in eight, it was written and
I'm sorry, I cannot hear
forward,
you. You're
it was
breaking up.
written
I'm
and
not getting a clear. I can't understand what you're saying.
now is it okay? Am I audible now? Am I audible now?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Okay, Hazrat Baba,
Oops.
I don't know which year he must have envisioned and drafted in
It was about
1998.
1998
So
when he
since
told me. I
1998,
don't know.
okay,
I don't know how
the
long before
geo
that he had the idea.
exactly, and geopolitics have dynamically changed, and
Yes,
so has demography and ethnic proportions ratios also. And and by the way, Indian administered Kashmir has only 24% of Muslim population, and rest are Buddhists, and still Pandits are there. Pandits are still surviving there, and Buddhists are there in Jammu, Ladakh, Leh. Jammu Hindus, Ladakh and Leh are mm, uh, is saturated with Buddhists, and to make it a Medina will be unfair on others. Now, after many 2 decades almost, uh, on the basis of uh, dynamically changing geopolitics, demography, and ethnicity, and just I have observed, and as a commenter, I'm just saying this. Actually, highly impossible, because we are very possessive of that place. It's kind of crown. Bharat Mata is our mother. Our means India. I'm speaking on behalf of entire India.
I'm
Is
sorry,
our
I can't
mother.
hear you again. The signal is breaking up.
Okay, till Is it okay
I
now?
heard you say that it's highly impossible, but after that I couldn't. Okay, you came back
Okay.
now,
Am I
yes.
audible now? Am I
Okay,
audible now? Yes? Am
you
I?
are now in the middle there. It got cut off, but now I can hear you. Yes.
Okay. It's highly impossible because our sentiments are attached with the crown. India, map of India is like our mother, Bharat Mata, the Mother India. That's a head, that's a crown, and heads, Pandits means the literary, the priestly class reside there, and Himalayas, it's close to Himalayas. So many sentimental, religious, sentimental, theosophical reasons and sentiments attached. Highly impossible. And secondly, why is the need to compromise? According to Indian minds, Indian sentiments, still today's contemporary wave is like Azad Kashmir is also legitimately not Azad in true sense. It has no sovereign status. So that's also our claim. Means India's claim. And
I'm,
I
I, I'm sorry, I could not hear everything you just said, but I did catch the main
okay. Kindly
problem.
repeat
May I say something?
what all you have heard. What all you have heard.
I can't.
Uh-huh. What all
I
you have
can't hear
heard.
you.
Kindly repeat.
I can't hear you. You're breaking up. I'm only hearing little snatches here and there. But let me say something in response to what I did understand you had said. I don't know if you're hearing what I'm saying, but I
Mhm.
cannot hear what you're
Yeah.
saying right now. You are frozen on my piece. But
Okay.
anyway, uh, India has to realize the whole point of this. The entire Kashmir will become part of India. The entire old princely state, including Gilgit-Baltistan, everything will become part of India, one united Kashmir state, and it will also, the whole thing will become part of Pakistan. So India is not losing Kashmir, it's gaining the whole of Kashmir, including the northern areas. Are you saying something? I'm
The
not hearing what you're
sharing bit
saying.
exactly. Okay. Sharing bit is also not acceptable
I'm
because our
sorry, I'm not
sentiments
getting
are
very good
attached.
reception right now.
Such a nice topic, but alas, is okay now?
Well, then you're going to
Okay.
have to
Am I
change your
audible now?
sentence.
Okay. Till where did you hear?
It's breaking up. I'm hearing little pieces of what you're saying, not the whole sentences.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
now I heard
that
what you
bad.
just said, yes.
Okay. Uh,
But now I'm
till
not
where did
hearing
you
what you're
hear?
saying.
Till where did you hear?
I'm sorry, I can't understand what you're saying. Anyway, I cannot hear what you're saying, but I want to say one last thing before we end because it looks like we may have to stop this conversation. What I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to say, I said earlier when we were talking before this uh, 8 o'clock or 8:30 chat on our previous short talk when we were doing a test, I said I will also say how the Muslims of India can solve not only the Kashmir dispute, but the entire conflict between India and Pakistan. So I hope you're hearing me. Are you hearing me? Are you ready for this?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Yes, I'm
so
hearing.
this may come as a shock to you, but I was told this very, very clearly, no doubt at all. When the Muslims of India decide that they will stop eating beef and they will honor Mother Cow, then the whole conflict between Muslims and Hindus, the whole conflict between India and Pakistan, the whole Kashmir dispute, everything will get solved as a result of that. So this may be difficult for you to imagine, maybe not, but this is actually, I was told, this is what the Muslims in India must do now in order to solve the whole problem. Otherwise, things are going to get worse and worse and worse. So what do you think of that?
Yes, we have. Of course, we nobody eats anymore. Nobody eats anymore, and we can do anything. Anything means we can sacrifice. If it's a sacrifice, of course, it's some utmost honor to give up something. We can keep fasts. I can you hear me? Am I audible to you now?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
I
we
heard what
can
you
when
said.
we
You can
can
keep
keep
fasts.
when you can keep rosas the from sunrise to sunset, Can't we keep off one type of meat? There are many plenty other available, plenty other varieties of meat available. If this resolves the age old issue, dispute, the real bloody issue, 72 years its blood is oozing at the borders, in the Kashmir around it. Why can't we just give up beef, something called beef, as petty as that? And the silence of Indian Muslims at till today. Today, first time I spoke about Kashmir openly, and openly means I was openly writing, but
Now I'm losing
I had
you
no
again.
English.
I did not hear what you said there.
The
I'm
silence
sorry, I
of
missed what you
Indian
just
Muslim.
said.
Can you hear me now?
I'm sorry, I cannot hear what you're saying now. I heard you say that it would be not hard to give up
Oh,
beef because so the signal completely there for a
stopping
while, and I
network.
did not hear most of what you have been saying the last minute or so. I did hear that you said that we can give up eating beef. That's not a big problem. But after that, I couldn't hear what you said.
Okay, the
Hello?
silence. Okay, the silence of Indian Muslims is the support of Indian Muslims to resolve the ongoing conflict, or the to resolve the ongoing unrest. So we are with the system, for the system, by the system, which is working for the positivity and to end the negativity.
All right. So I I am still catching pieces of what you're saying. I didn't hear the entire thing.
Mhm.
Um, I'm sorry. I live out in the country in a little village, you might say, 15 miles from the nearest town, so we sometimes don't get very good internet reception here. So I'm
Mhm.
sorry that I
No,
can't hear what you're saying.
videos very good, visuals are very good, but audio's a little poor.
I'm sorry, you're frozen and I can't hear what you're saying. I'm sorry, I can't hear what you're saying. Anyway, maybe we
Okay.
should continue this by a conversation on chat, by messaging or something, because I'm sorry that I cannot hear what you're saying right now.
Okay.
So I will just
Did you
have
hear? Did you hear when I say that the silence of Indian Muslims is the support of is our silence is our support? Is it audible now?
your silence. You said your silence is your support.
Yes, yes. We support the system which is working for the conflict.
I can't hear what you're saying now. I'm sorry.
Audio was good till now.
Uh,
I don't know.
well, throughout there have been places where I've been missing what you're saying, and then it comes back and I can hear what you're saying, and then I just start hearing only little pieces of your sentences. So I don't think I'm going to be able to hear now what you're saying, but I think we should end now. I appreciate very much your inviting me to have this interview, and I'm sorry it's probably because of my poor connection here. But I don't know if you can hear what I'm saying, but I'm going to end this now just by saying that I have no doubt at all, I have full faith that this solution is coming between India and Pakistan, and the Kashmir conflict will be resolved along the lines that Hazrat Baba had outlined here. And what's necessary is that the Muslims in India uh, should accommodate the desires of the Hindus, and the Hindus should accommodate the desires of the Muslims. This is a very simple point. So,
We
specifically,
have
what
been
that means
practicing.
is
That's what is exactly happening in other parts of India. Muslims are very, very well flourishing and coexisting along with Hindus. So there's no ethnic clashes. There's nothing called ethnic clash here. Uh, there's no question of survival of the fittest. Both are fittest, Hindus and Muslims in other parts of India. I don't know why in Kashmir. You couldn't hear? Couldn't you hear?
I can hear just little pieces of what you're saying, not the whole thing. Um, so I'm sorry that I can't continue this because I
Anyway,
can't hear
I
most of what you're
thank you.
saying.
I thank you so much, and we shall win one day, inshallah. And if God willing, definitely we shall come some other time. Uh, Same, we shall do another show. It was lovely. The letters too precious, and so are you. So is your time. Thank you so much, Alan. Take care.
Oh, thank you very, very much. And I look forward to talking with you again. I hope sometime when I can get a better signal. Maybe I'll go somewhere else
Inshallah.
to do our
Inshallah.
next live chat.
Zarur. Inshallah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. May God protect us all.
You too. Thanks.
Okay.
Okay.